Hello and welcome to the next episode of Scene Partner from Off Book. Today I'm joined by somebody I had great fun with working on a tour many years ago. Now, a fantastic actor and somebody whose singing voice is amazing. I'm joined by Lucy Forrester. Hello, Lucy. How are you?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. Are you?
I'm very, very good. Very good. Although I say, actually, Christmas Carol wasn't actually the last show I worked with you on, now I think about it. It would have been Sword and the Stone.
Sword and the Stone, yeah. I was thinking that, yeah.
Yes, that was an off-book show. How did I not remember that one? These things happen.
It was good fun as well. So
it's one of those. There was that moment in the rehearsal room of Christmas Carol where I was rehearsing, and then you and Ryan just came in. It's hang on, I know you.
Yeah. It's a relief when obviously you've just lost a cast member, and then someone comes in and you know them. You're like, oh, what a relief! Like, we're okay. We're gonna be all right.
and of course we knew each other. I think sort of on one level or other, at least, from amateur theatre that we'd done before we'd both struck out professionally.
Yeah. So definitely when I was in college. So I'd done my A-levels, but left to do like a foundation degree in acting in college. And a couple of the girls that I met there were involved in Amdram. So we were all trying to get as much sort of like experience as we could, really, with anything to do with acting. So there was quite a lot of productions we got involved in. A lot of them were like classical stuff. So some was like Shakespeare, and some were like your sort of Jane Austen kind of thing. And then that's kind of where we met and sort of got to know each other a little bit.
Yeah, I want to say like Merry Wives of Windsor and From Shakespeare with Love, was it?
Yes.
It would be those two.
And then a Shakespearean twin, which I think was invented just for that show. But yeah, it was good fun. And doing Shakespeare outdoors as well is just insane. It's great. So
I seem to remember on one of those we had the venue washed out because of the rain, and a good number of us ended up in the pub around the corner.
Yeah, I would like to say that was the experience for other outdoor touring, but no, when it rains and it's absolutely chugging it down, we're still normally doing the show. But Amdram's a little bit kinder, and yeah, the pub is definitely the nice place to be.
So do you think that the experiences you managed to gain in amateur theatre have helped you in any way in training and in professional work?
Yeah, I think for me it was like a confidence thing, and I got a chance to have a go at like some roles and build my way up, because strangely enough, Amdram is a lot similar to the real world of acting, and sometimes there does feel like you feel like you've got to work your way up, and you had to do that with the Amdram as well. And I think I met new people, I learnt new skills, especially like doing Shakespeare I guess that was the first time I'd done Shakespeare as well. So it kind of gave me that sort of step, so of like then to get into the next level, I guess. And I know a lot of people are kind of against Amdram, but there's some absolutely like amazing Amdram companies, especially around where we live. I can just tell because of being in various companies, but it's such a high standard that then when you do sort of go from Amdram into the professional world, it's not so big a step, which I know a lot of people won't probably agree with, but that's how I kind of felt.
I do sometimes wonder whether it's an area thing. We did luck out a little in that Merseyside Wirral in particular had, so I mean, I know a few of them have gone since then, but we had a good few amateur groups that were all doing stuff constantly.
Yeah, and it was all different. It was like, so you could do musicals, you could do plays, comedies, like Shakespeare, outdoor work. So I think I got like a lot of training from there, and getting to do all these different types of work really before getting into the professional world.
Did you always know that you wanted to move into this industry then?
Yeah, like I kind of, such a cliche, but I did know from a young age. I just really enjoyed it. Probably from about 8, I was like, that's what I want to do. And nothing I never got swayed away from it. And so I went all through school, all through college, and then ended up in an opticians, but knowing that wasn't what I wanted to do, that, you know, the acting was something I just enjoyed, and it was kind of nice knowing that I knew what I wanted to do, and it was nice knowing I'd be doing a job that I actually loved. Like, I didn't want to do a job that I didn't enjoy or love.
Yeah. It's one of those things. Everybody has a different route into the industry, and everybody has a different start point. I started considerably later than most, unfortunately. But with that in mind, what was your route into the industry? What was your route into working professionally?
Oh, so when I was in school, I did the whole thing where I auditioned for drama school when I'd done like my A-levels, and it was the most terrifying experience of my life. I was totally unprepared. I went to a great school, had lovely teachers, but nobody'd kind of gone for drama school before. Nobody had done that. So, and I'd never done Shakespeare before. So having to do Shakespeare speeches and things like that was really daunting and overwhelming. So it didn't go exactly great. I got, I think, a call back for a few places, but didn't get in anywhere. So went to a local community college and did my like HNC, like a foundation degree in acting, and that was amazing. I loved that. And again, I thought, you know what, I'll have another go. And I sort of applied for like different ones, and then didn't really get anywhere with that either. And I was a bit sort of lost then, because I was like, well, if I can't go to drama school, how am I going to get into acting? I'm just going to have to keep going and applying. So I left and got a job in an opticians and took a break for a while. At some point, whilst working in the opticians, I got into National Youth Theatre, and that kind of gave me the confidence to apply again for drama school. So I applied again, got callbacks, got final places to a few places, like the final round for a few places, and then didn't get in. And I guess that it was heartbreaking. I felt then, I was like, I'm not good enough. And that was only me applying 3 times. You know, some people get in first time, some people get in 5th, 6th, 7th time. But for me, I'd had enough of that, that process. I felt of not feeling good enough. So I took a step back and thought, right, I'm gonna work, and when I get to 25, I'm gonna try again. But weirdly enough, things sort of took a turn for me before then. So I stayed doing the Amjam, got sort of my confidence back, and then sort of saw a lot of things like profit shares in the local area. And I know they're not normally the best thing, but I was working, I had a job, so I fitted it in and was doing like different musicals and plays, working in a few theatres in Liverpool. And I think a couple of months after that, I quit my job, threw myself headfirst into the acting, did anything I could get, whether it was being an elf, being a princess, like anything. And within, I think, 6 months, I got a tour going all around sort of the UK and Ireland. And then it kind of took off for me then. That was it. But there was like all the hard work in between. But for me, I found it easier auditioning for shows than auditioning for drama school, because I don't know if you feel the same way, but I feel like when you audition for a show or a character, I know what they want from me. I might not be right for that role, but I know that I've got an idea of what they're kind of looking for and what I can bring to that and what I can do. But I think I was so young before that I didn't know who I was, and I didn't know what I brought to the table. So I was never going to get in anywhere, because I kind of just didn't really know what I was doing. So yeah, I think it was a better way for me. I kind of found out, sounds really like cheesy now, but I kind of found out who I was through working like a normal job and doing all these different profit shares and stuff, and then going, oh, this is who I am now.
I mean, there's a nice takeaway there in that a lot of people tend to focus in on how they must go to drama school. They must do this. This is the way the career works. And I mean, my experience, I didn't go to a drama school myself, but I did train, and I mean, I'm constantly doing workshops. I'm constantly doing whatever I can do in order to improve my skills. But that hard work is another route into the industry for many, and it certainly sounds from what you're saying that hard work has paid off in being able to enter the industry in that way.
Yeah, it did. Like I didn't think it would at first, and then it all sort of like came to a head. But I think that's probably, I still see that as a bit of a flaw that I didn't go. And I know I probably shouldn't. I've been doing it for about 4 years now, but I still always feel like at the back of my mind, oh, do I get judged because I haven't been, and am I seen any differently? But then have to turn it on its head and be like, well, I'm in a room of people who are okay, they've trained as well, but I've got the job as well. I might not have gone to drama school, but I've got the same job as them.
Yeah.
I've just got a different route about it, kind of thing.
Yeah, there's that. There can be that, well, what if moments, I think. But as you rightly say, you've ended up, or you're in the same place as many people who've been to drama school. And in some cases, you find yourself knowing people who went to drama school who haven't got as far as you have in your career. And sometimes, is there any solace in that?
No, it's not like a solace, but I think sometimes I don't think people realize how hard it is. So like I guess like my partner's in he's been to drama school, and you're sort of in this bubble. And I mean, his drama school is quite good. They did say to them, like, when you leave, it you know, the real world is out there, kind of thing, and it is hard. And I think he benefited from knowing me, because he could see that it isn't just you don't get jobs, you don't just leave and get jobs. No, you're not. I mean, there's a few actors out there who are, you know, consistently employed and things like that, and that's very rare. A lot of the time, you're sitting around, you're waiting, you're taking classes, you're like practicing self-tapes. You know, you practice on your craft, waiting for that next audition to come along, and you might do 10 and get a no for 9 of them and then a yes for 1. And it's just, I think doing it the way I did, constantly sort of working and having to push against things, it made me a lot more grateful for the work I got. And I think I don't give up as easily, I think, because I kind of know it's a struggle rather than of being protected, I guess, beforehand.
Mm. And there's, I find when I speak to a lot of people that they continually are updating their skills or finding the next skill that they need to add to their collection because of the nature of the industry. You can't just be an actor or a dancer or a singer. If I remember rightly, on Christmas Carol, you were practicing your songs because you, if I remember rightly, were going to be performing somewhere, and you were singing during warm-ups and pre-show and kind of and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I think if you have any sort of other skill that can go along with being an actor, just like, obviously I think obviously money is like a big thing as well. But if there's something you can train yourself in that isn't going to cost yourself like a lot of money, you should do it. Like, so I sing as well. I play the flute. I've just started playing the saxophone, probably a bit late in life, but just having that like extra sort of string to your bow could be the difference between what gets you in the room compared to somebody else, I guess. But definitely I feel like the actor muso thing is that's becoming a lot more prevalent now.
I mean, I was at a meeting a little while ago, and I overheard somebody mentioning an instrument that was not. I'm saying this, I have a feeling it might have been you. There was an artistic director present, and somebody mentioned a tin whistle.
Yeah, that was me, yeah.
and the reaction actually seemed to be quite positive towards the tin whistle because it's an unusual instrument.
Yes, yeah, it was that, and also an accordion. So any accordion players out there, apparently, like, that is really sought after. So if you can play a little bit, like, put that on your CV, like, let people know, because anything that's portable, that you can play to like a decent standard, yeah, again, it's he was the artistic director was just like, if you know anyone who plays an accordion, like let us know, because that's what we're after, kind of thing. Sadly I don't play the accordion. I was a bit
Yes.
um,
There is always that one instrument that they're asking for.
yeah.
I can't play that. I can play this. I can't play what you're asking.
I don't know. Sadly, don't play that. But I guess I was lucky in a way as well. Like my sort of I started playing music when I was about 15, so like a lot later in life. And we went to do a bit of a shout out to the Irish Centre in Liverpool, because they offered like music lessons for like a couple of quid. So you'd go of a Monday evening. I don't know what it is now, but this, when I was younger, it was a couple of quid. You'd have half an hour with somebody, and they teach you how to play an instrument. And what I learned a lot with that was, I didn't start doing classical stuff. It was Irish, and so I didn't read music, but I learned a lot of sort of being able to listen, like being able to play from hearing and stuff like that, and being able to play without music there as well, because a lot of the time you'll get to do a show which would be an actor musician show, and they'll be like, yes, you can't have the sheet music or anything there, and you find a lot of classically trained people are like, oh my god, like I can't have sheet music, like why like I can't do it without the sheet music, whereas that was something that was quite easy for me. But yeah, I think that helped. I think definitely having that musical influence, and then it got me into singing as well. So I was then, I feel like, better prepared for a lot of jobs.
Yeah. Moving on to jobs then, one of the things I mentioned to Ryan when I spoke to him was that every sort of show that I've done, or every tour I've done, or every time I've been in a group of other performers, you get some amazing stories coming out of fellow performers. I said to Ryan that I seem to remember a point where you were driving through really dark roads and we had crazy musical soundtracks on, and yeah, it's one of those moments you just go,
Book of Mormon, I think.
You also introduced us to Hamilton on that trip, if I remember rightly.
I did, quite a few years earlier than the craze, I would like to think.
Yes, yes, indeed. Or being on the Isle of Wight ferry and just in pitch blackness, it's like these loads of weird sort of moments come out. And that leads me on to a question that I tend to be asking everybody who's been on this show is, do you have any moments that when you think about them, you've realized that people outside the industry would think are completely mad, completely bonkers?
Yeah. So I really like, probably shouldn't admit this really, but I really like doing pranks. Nothing too serious when you're on stage, but just if anyone's sort of been doing a show for a long time, sort of backstage and stuff, you can, I don't know, get a bit giddy sometimes. And we had one particular show we were doing, and this actor had sort of been trying to get us to corpse on stage. He'd been trying to do it like loads and loads and loads, and I'd been really good, and I was like, no, I didn't corpse, and I was like, I'd left it alone. But I thought, right, today I was like, I've had enough, like he's really trying to make me laugh on stage today. So he had a doctor's bag that he had to bring on stage, and we had lots of plastic fruit as a prop, and we proceeded to fill his doctor's bag up. It had a stethoscope at the bottom, which he had to reach in and he had to take that out. And we filled it up with all this plastic fruit. We knew then he'd have to come on this scene that was dead serious. And he'd have to reach into his bag and take that stethoscope. But instead of seeing the stethoscope, he was going to see all this fruit. And with me and this other actor couldn't contain ourselves. And we were like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then we couldn't even look at him for the whole scene. And then we came off stage, and he was, I was in charge of props as well, and I always made a point of making sure people check their props before they go on stage, so they know that they're there, so there's no mistakes and things like that. And he just turned to me and he was like, luckily I checked my props before I went on stage today. I emptied all of this, and like the fruit was everywhere. Oh my goodness. So instead of getting him corpsing, we ended up just corpsing on stage, and we hadn't even gotten with the prank anyway.
It's one of those, though. I think sometimes that can help the team dynamic on shows, can't it? I did Sweeney Todd, and we were going through a particularly tough. I want to say it was a tech run, or it was something that was particularly tough. And the woman playing Mrs. Lovett during the opening bit, where Anthony, and I was playing Anthony at the time, where Anthony and Sweeney have just landed, the old beggar woman does the "Hey, hi, sailor boy," and she does this bit, and then lifts up her skirt to reveal between her legs. She's wearing leggings underneath the skirt, of course, but between her legs is hanging a rubber chicken. And just everybody lost it, because in a tech environment, you're working so hard, and it's constantly stop start, and everybody's morale starts to break down after a while. And those little bits can help lift the spirits of everybody sometimes.
Yeah, I've had there's been countless. There was one time when an actor just forgot to come on stage for their scene, and there was me and the other actor kind of being like, I know something else happens now, and then realizing neither of us say the thing, and I definitely couldn't say the thing because I just announced it, and just looking at each other, be like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? And just having to work our way out it, and even like costume malfunctions as well. There's another time where an actor came on stage and the skirt had broken. Actually, that's happened twice, and neither time was me. But both actors came on, and they had to hold their skirt the whole time. The whole audience can see that they're holding this skirt that's just like pinged open. Oh my goodness! But I mean, it's terrifying at the time, and we're all sitting there trying to fix it. But it is a bit of a laugh afterwards. It's something that you go, "Oh my god, remember that time when?" kind of thing.
Yeah, and from what it sounds like, and from what I know of you, you've done quite a bit of touring work. Has your career skewed mainly towards the touring side of things?
Yeah, it has actually. Probably been in every county in the whole of the UK. But yeah, it has kind of gone more that way. I think sometimes it tends to be, sometimes the contracts aren't that long, so it's quite nice. It tends to be the show, really. I look at what the show is and I'm like, yeah, I'd love to do that show. And it's, as I've got older, I guess I've not wanted to tour as much as I've got older, just because I guess settling down and things like that. But when it's the right show, when it's something that you want to do and you've got to be a part of, then the touring doesn't matter, because you're going to enjoy it, and you're going to love that time. And then it also makes you sort of, I guess, appreciate home a little bit more as well. Yeah.
So are there any particular challenges you find when it comes to touring? Because it's worth saying touring is very difficult for a lot of people. So are there any specific challenges you think there exist with touring theatre?
Yeah, I think if you're somebody who really appreciates their own time and space and doesn't really like being surrounded by other people, I'd say touring's probably not for you. I guess I come from a big family, so I'm used to having absolutely no personal space. So I guess I was kind of used to it in that way. I think you all get tired as well. I think you've got to realise that you're not the only person who's tired, and you're not the only person who's done, 7 shows this week and travelled all across the country. You kind of have to appreciate everyone's in the same boat, everyone's going through the same thing. And if you can have that little bit where you have, you arrive to your venue and you've got an hour, it's okay to want to spend that on your own and not want to spend that with everybody else. If you want to take that time away and just recoup and then come back, like, that's okay. I think finding time for yourself whilst you're on tour is definitely something, I'd advise. Like, just having that little bit for yourself, just so you can chill, relax, and then it means you can enjoy everybody's company again, I think, like, after that.
I mean, you mentioned before that you sort of, with wanting to maybe settle down a bit more, you're less considering tours. Do you still see touring as part of your future with your career, or do you see your career moving in a different direction now? Yeah,
I still see it as part of my future, but I think I'm I think it's something when you've been in the industry a little bit more as well, you realise it's okay to say no to things. Like, you don't have to apply for everything, and you don't have to go for every single job that you see going. If that doesn't suit you, that's okay. Like, other things will come along. It might mean you have to wait that little bit longer, but if you just want to wait that little bit, or if something just isn't suiting you, that's okay to say no. And I think that's something I'm realising, not only the settling down bit, but I can say no to things as well as saying yes. Most of the time it's yes. But yeah, you can say no.
You mentioned profit share, and some of the conditions in profit share aren't always great, but it tends to be where a lot of people do get their start. And
Yes.
I think over time you become less and less willing maybe to take on the profit shares because you develop as an artist.
Yeah, and also I think it's like, it's not against anyone who wants to do profit shares. I think you've got to weigh it up, and knowing that, okay, if you're not doing that profit share for the money, what are you doing it for? So for me, when I was starting out, I was doing it because I wanted the experience. I wanted to work in some great theatres, and I wanted to build up my CV because I hadn't been to drama school. So for me, that worked out really well. Other times you've got to think, you've got to think of your self-worth as well. So if it's not speaking to you artistically, and it's not speaking to you sort of monetary, then why are you doing it? Because if you don't enjoy it and then you're not getting paid from it, then it's not doing anything for you. And I think if you can go into a profit share knowing it's fine, I'm not being paid a lot for it, but I'm gonna really love this show, then that's the right decision. But if you know you're not going to enjoy it, it's not fair, I guess, on the rest of the cast who could actually be really excited about doing it and stuff.
Well, thinking then to somebody who might have been in the same position you were in when you first started and wants to get to maybe where you are now, is there any advice that you think you would offer to somebody like yourself?
I'm probably going against what I've said now, but don't be scared to say yes to things. Obviously, you've got to want to do them, but just taking the opportunities that come along and learning from them. One of the puppet shares I did was amazing. Like, I learned how to do puppetry from doing that, and that's a skill then I've taken on with me and I can do for other shows. When applying for it, I was like, oh my God, I've got like no experience in that. But instead of saying, oh, I can't apply for it, I thought, you know what? Like, they're looking for people, they're looking for local people, they're looking for, people who can move, people who can act, and they're willing to teach people to do puppetry. And I guess, I think just sort of seeing what is out there, seeing what's in your local area, checking. Like, I started off finding a lot of stuff on Facebook, on Twitter, on your social media, having a look and just seeing what is around you and seeing what you can get involved in, basically.
Yeah. Well, what we'll do now, we're running short on time for our session today. So what we'll move on to is a questionnaire that I am asking everybody who comes on the show. It is some quick fire questions, and it's your own interpretation. It's heavily influenced from chat shows that I loved when I was developing this format. So our first question then would be, what's your favorite type of entertainment?
Oh, I'm a big fan of musicals. I do love a good musical.
What then is your least favorite type of entertainment?
Oh, actors are gonna hate me. It really depends. But I don't like seeing like a bad Shakespeare show.
And what trait do you think is most valuable to a performer?
Be kind. Be really nice to work with, and a joy to work with.
And what trait do you value most in a castmate, colleague, or collaborator?
Oh, just their willingness to work.
Mm-hmm.
Just wanting to be there and wanting to work and get the job done.
And if you could learn one new skill, what would that be?
Oh, it's sort of not a new skill. I guess a skill that I used to have that I'd like to be better at, I guess, is I want to dance more, I guess. Like I can still dance, but I really would love to be an amazing dancer.
And what one thing would you most like to see change about the industry?
I guess a bit more, I guess it's quite topical at the moment, a lot more inclusive, I think. Yeah, I think inclusive and just roles being given to the best person for the job rather than maybe what you look like or sound like or what accent you've got or where you come from.
There are some amazing answers there, and I find myself saying this with every person I give that questionnaire to. I really wish I could dig down into some of the answers, so I'm regretting my own format of the show. But we are closing in on the end of our time today. But so thank you very much, Lucy, for joining me. It's been a pleasure to speak to you.
Thank you for having me. It's been fun.
I'm glad it's been fun for you. It's been fun for me listening and hearing you. Sometimes we don't get the chance to talk like this when performers are working with each other.
Yeah, normally too busy, but I'm glad if I've been of any help to anyone. I don't know.
I mean, I've sat here fascinated by the answers to everybody I've interviewed, and you're no different in that. I am going to, I think, then say goodbye, and we'll wrap up for today. So for anybody who's been watching, thank you very, very much for watching. If you've liked the show, please follow some information on offbook.co.uk, our website. You could also like and subscribe on YouTube if you've liked the show. And if you know anybody who would enjoy watching these shows, consider sharing the videos with them. For now, though, thank you very much for watching. Lucy, again, thank you very much for joining me. And bye for now.
Bye.